So, it is almost time. The Rise of Skywalker is almost among us. We'll soon figure out why Palpatine is in the trailers. Not that I'm bitter, not that I'm upset, but I'm a little bit bitter and I'm a little bit upset. As long as they don't Darth Maul him, he needed to have died. After that, well, anyway, sorry. We've talked about that a lot. I gotta let it go, let it go. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. Rey is my Jedi Queen. Na 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 na. Okay, so today, what I wanted to do is have a little bit of fun. We are going to try to guess the plot of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker on this episode of Project Shadow.
Can you hear me? I have something to say.
Hello everyone, how are you doing today? My name's Charlie. You might know me better as sci-fi fantasy writer C.E. Dorset, especially if you're reading my latest book, Crucify My Love, which is in a little bit of edity revision-y place, but don't worry, if you go ahead and buy it now, you'll get the new one when it comes out, and if you don't like it, just let me know and I'll give you the old one back, because I'm not George Lucas, though my cats are going crazy, so they're probably going to be on the show today. I've tried so hard. Oh wow, how did you get that from the bathtub?
Just let it go.
Oh, we have a guest!
Hi, it's me, Brian.
My hubby's here. My hubby's here. And all of the cats, because they've all decided to be like really crazy and really loud, and you're always saying you want more of my cats, so you get to hear them.
Just think of them like rebels. They're everywhere.
And creating as much noise and ruckus as they possibly can.
Yeah. Down with the Empire.
They were all sleeping and laying down when we started. And then they're like, they need silence. Let's do the opposite of that. Yay! Okay. So, before we get started, if you haven't already, please do take a moment to rate this podcast in whatever app you're listening to us on. It really does help out a lot. It tells the algorithms to share the podcast with more people. The more people that listen, the bigger the community. The bigger the community, the better the chance we can actually communicate with each other, which is, after all, why I do this in the first place, because Lord knows I have not been podcasting for 15 years for the money. Seriously. Thank you to everybody who's already done that. All right. So, I have a lot of theories. I want to save the big one that kind of blew your mind the other day for last, because I think that's a good one to land on. But for starters, do you have any places you want to start?
I thought we'd start with the First Order theory.
Okay.
That I had. Okay, so for those that have...
Before we get into this, for those of you who are like super sensitive to spoilers, just in case we're right about any of the theories we're putting forward, just be warned. We don't know. We have no idea. We know no one at LucasArts. Well, probably don't know anybody at We are not currently conversing with anyone at LucasArts. Yeah. So we have no idea. Yeah, if you're super spoiler, we did predict some things in previous movies.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there because I get yelled at if I don't give spoiler alerts. So you have been warned, but this is all just craziness and probably not going to happen anyway. Anyway, sorry, go.
So this theory has more to do with all of the Star Destroyers we see, especially the old Star Destroyers that we see later, in the trailer.
And the Sith Troopers. Remember, the red armored soldiers, we know this from the toys, and they've confirmed from other things, are called Sith Troopers.
And the Sith Troopers. So, obviously, we're all expecting a giant confrontation between the rebels are going to, kind of rally and have to confront the First Order. The First Order outweighs them right now. My theory is, I like to call it the First Order theory, because the original First Order was Palpatine's order that the Empire should be destroyed should he fall.
For those of you who have been doing the reading at home, for people like me who do the homework, this is Operation Cinder.
Operation Cinder.
If I can't be Emperor, burn it to the ground.
Yeah, he was very big into Star Wars chess.
Yeah, I can't remember what they called it.
But it's basically chess.
Yes.
If the king falls, the game is over. Wipe out the pieces on the board.
Wipe them out.
All of them. And he was very adamant about that. And he actually put together a project called First Order. And he had a person.
No, it was called Project Cinder.
Oh, yeah, Project Cinder, sorry. And it was the First Order, because the First Order is if he falls, the Empire needs to fall.
Gallius Rax was put in charge of this in the Aftermath books.
Yep.
And we also see it play out in the comics. And I believe a portion of Battlefront 2. But I haven't played any of the new Battlefront games because I don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox or a computer that can run graphics that good.
Yeah. And of course,
Not that I don't want one. My Patreon's in the link.
some of the significance of I want to call it Jakar again. How did I get that name stuck in Jakku? I got the other name stuck in my head.
Because you've been thinking about Babylon 5 a lot.
I have.
You're thinking of Jakar.
I have been thinking Jakar and Babylon 5. So and Jakku plays into a lot because he got a lot of the Empire destroyed.
That's where that's where Rax was headquartered out of during the actual time of the Empire.
Yeah.
And there was a secret base there with all kinds of Sith relics. And the one character we have not seen since Aftermath that I at least want to get name dropped, what happened to Yuptashu?
Yeah, Yutashu's running around. So the theory is that there was a fleet of Star Destroyers hidden somewhere that were waiting to be given orders and to launch to attack. 1 second. There we go. To attack and destroy.
The cat's found a plastic fork from somewhere. Who knows?
To attack and destroy it. That they're waiting there to go out and destroy parts of the Empire that may have escaped the First Order. Well, of course, the Operation Cinder got thwarted towards the end. The First Order was... The other First Order was born.
See, it's technically... See, I want to challenge you on that.
And
if the... Okay, continue.
Well, see, because
challenge you after you're done.
Palpatine was worried about something in the Outer Rim anyhow, and I wonder if that was...
Worried or knew about?
Knew about, yeah. And I wonder if that actually was, what's-his-face is already dead and whatever. But I wonder if he
it wasn't Snoke. And I don't think they're going to
Snoke.
retroactively make it Snoke. I don't think that's it at all.
Okay.
I think Korriban is actually what he was sensing out there. Because remember, it had been lost until it got rediscovered at some point. And I think it's the homeworld of the Sith. I think that's what he was sensing out there. I think that's what they're going to do with it in canon, because it's definitely not Snoke.
No.
Snoke was maxi strong with the dark side, but
Yeah.
I doubt it was Snoke.
Well, I just figured, I thought maybe, and then, he would have named him the First Order as a little snarky, very Snoke type of jab at Palpatine, because he went, haha, I turned your First Order around into the rise of the new Empire. But back to the First Order thing, they find these ships, and then they're able to use these ships against the First Order. So the First Order is where they get all their fleets from to fight the First Order, so we can see which First Order actually wins.
So it's the completion of Operation Cinder.
Completion of Operation Cinder, yeah.
I disagree for two reasons. One, J.J. Abrams needs to be hit with the switch in the buttocks numerous times until he learns to have some respect for anything. He has chosen to ignore the, let's just say, elements that have been using The Last Jedi for radicalization purposes to divide the fandom and make more people into white supremacists and into MRAs, and said that basically the backlash that occurred with The Last Jedi was because that it didn't provide the hope that a Star Wars movie should. And I have to say, you know what movie I find terribly hopeful? Just completely hopeful? Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is probably the most hopeful movie. Our hero is frozen in carbonite and carted away, probably never to be seen again. Our other hero gets his arm cut off and finds out that Darth Vader is his father. They're all on the ship, just kind of lost and not knowing what to do. Hope.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started with Attack of the Clones. I mean, second part isn't hopeful, JJ. So, but I don't think JJ is going to go there for two reasons. One, it doesn't have the stupid mystery box. because he loves himself a mystery box, and we're finally going to force him to open one. At least Kathleen Kennedy probably will. And he's been going off on this stupid Star Wars is all about hope thing, which, yes, Star Wars is all about hope, but not in the way that he means it. Like, I was frustrated with The Force Awakens because I felt that J.J. Abrams was not a person who understood Star Wars, and the more he opens his mouth and makes his mouth parts make sounds, the less I think he understands about Star Wars. I would bet you money J.J. Abrams has no idea what Operation Cinder is. He has no idea what's been happening, and he's just sitting there going, here's how I can make my toys go bam, 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 and put a mystery box in the middle of it. And Kathleen Kennedy and the rest came in and went, and here's the plot you're doing.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, I don't trust JJ.
No.
I just don't. I love the idea, and I think that's where the idea that we're going to... The next two ideas come from that we're going to be talking about. But, yeah, I just don't trust JJ. So, the second theory, which I feel like we have to talk about on the show if we're going to talk about theories about what's going to happen, I don't know if they originated it or not, because honestly, they've become kind of annoying to me, and I've stopped really paying attention to them, but the people over at Making Star Wars have been very up and vocal about the idea that they believe that Rey is going to be revealed to be Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter, and that her parents are his kids, and that as part of Operation Cinder, they were to be killed. That way there couldn't be a line of succession because reasons. And, yeah.
Palpatine was very much all about him.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, yeah, back to the whole thing. Okay, there's, that's interesting and all, and that might explain why she got dropped off on Jakku, because they would know that it's a safe place to dump her, especially after the battle, after the war, and everything being removed from the planet. And then they got whacked somewhere along the way by bounty hunters or First Order or both or all the above. I don't know. Maybe they accidentally got in line of fire of the planet.
I hope that's not the answer. I really hope that's not the answer.
Yeah.
But they've really been pushing that hard.
And the reason, main reason why is, they really didn't seed any of this anywhere.
No.
There was no seeding of children or,
We only just found out that Palpatine had a name, and of all things, it's Sheev.
Yeah.
Sheev.
At least it's not Bob.
It's better than Snoke.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
So, I was running with that, and I went, well, maybe she was some kind of, manufactured child. Like, they took, because we had to explain the timeline, because she couldn't be Palpatine's daughter.
35 years have passed.
Through the normal means of procreation. Now, looking at some of the zealot groups out there that may have...
Which, again, they have done nothing. Like, we don't even know anything in the movies about the Knights of Ren. And that's the thing. These movies are not going to make major callbacks to anything that happens in a book. For goodness sakes. We know how Maz Kanata got the lightsaber because they wrote a book about it, and yet people are still making videos about how did Maz get the lightsaber. We know. Bazine got it for her.
Yeah, Bazine got it for her. Bazine's the one that called the First Order.
Yeah.
She was sitting in the cantina.
She's sitting in the movie.
Yeah, she's in the cantina.
And she's a background player because she doesn't matter to the story that they were telling.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna give us the Acolytes of the Beyond as much as I would love to see them in the movie. They may get a shout out, they may get a mention. I think we're gonna find out more about the Knights of Ren, but
yeah, so it becomes once again not practical that she could have been some kind of lab created child of Palpatine, because a lot of that's book stuff and stuff that they have done no call out to, and it would be. And the reason why we're saying they wouldn't do it is because it would be too complicated to try to put all of that backstory into the movie.
Well, that's the big question, is there's a lot of rumors going around that this movie's going to have flashbacks in it. But anywho.
I mean, this is why, like, even Rebel... Oh, no, I keep wanting to call it Rebels. Rogue One. Even why Rogue One has an entire book that gives you the prequel material to understand about the family and Genesis family and everything, and the Ursos and all. And
which is very good, by the way.
It's very good. And it's like... Because in there, they don't even, like, have time to do that.
No. So, my personal pet... I have two personal pet theories that I think one's plausible and one will never happen. One will never happen at all. The one that will never happen, that has a 0% chance, is that Rey is Luke Skywalker's grandniece. Now, follow me here. In episode 9 of the original planned 9-part series, we were supposed to meet Luke Skywalker's sister, who was not meant to be Princess Leia. His sister became Princess Leia when they realized they weren't going to be doing episodes 7, 8, and 9, and they just went, let's wrap this up, and it's Leia now. We know George Lucas has been very vocal about not being happy that they didn't follow his plans going forward. I could see them throwing him a bone and trying to make the fans, they got all upset that she's a nobody, which, by the way, made me really happy because I like the idea of the Force belongs to all of us, and not just a special bloodline. But
yeah,
if they're going to do some kind of a fan service, actually, she's secretly, it's going to be something like that. Kerry Russell is going to be revealed to be Luke's long-lost sister, somebody that Anakin gave rise to after Padme and all that, in that intermediary period, and she's secretly Rey's mother, because I think she's technically old enough. I mean, Kerry Russell's around my age, and I'm old enough to have a 20-year-old kid. That's a long story. Anywho, but yeah. So, I don't think that one's going to happen. I think that's the least likely of all the theories that we've talked about.
Yeah.
But
it would be really cool if it was, because it would be a fun throwback, like where, she was probably born on Mustafar.
And just to do the both fan service and to jab, to jab the fans, jab George, and to do fan service, her name's secretly going to be Mara Jade.
Yeah.
Because George Lucas, when he sold it to them, apparently one of his stipulations was there could never be a Mara Jade Skywalker.
Oh, no.
He apparently hated that character.
Aw.
And that's why she has vanished completely. Okay. But we shall see. Oh, nope. Sorry, we have a kitty cat coming up here. My personal pet theory as to what's going on is that what we're going to find out is that Rey, like Anakin, is a virgin in the Force. And if you pay attention to some of the material that has remained canon, because remember, the novelizations of the movies were included in the list of canon material, not just the films, but the novelizations of them. So if you go back and read Terry Brooks' novelization, because yeah, they got Terry Brooks to write the novelization, which is definitely why I read it, of The Phantom Menace, he mentions in there that Palpatine had been manipulating the Force to give rise to the perfect Force user. Mm-hmm. Which hints that Anakin came about because Palpatine wanted him to. Okay? And that's still technically in the realm of canon, and something that gets brought up a lot. So what if Palpatine also kind of set up a little oogie boogie in the Force and gave rise to Rey, with the goal of having her finish everything that he started? That Palpatine is going to be in this movie as a Force ghost-ish thing, and tempting her to the dark side. Remember Dark Side Rey?
Yeah.
To try to get her to finish the plan, and that she's a virgin, just like Anakin was. And, just like Shmi was.
Yeah.
We know nothing about Shmi's family, and that the phrase Skywalker actually refers to these people born from the Force. And that's how Rey becomes Rey Skywalker. And that's why this is the Rise of Skywalker.
There you go.
Mic drop.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome, because then you can also have her temptation just like Anakin's, except for she resists. And
it's going to be just like Anakin's.
Yeah, just like Anakin's. And she's going to resist the temptation in the end, and not turn to the dark side.
And not turn.
But we'll get a period, of course, during the temptation where we get to see, Sith Rey.
Or at least a vision of Sith Rey.
I mean, they showed that in the trailer.
Yeah. We know we're getting at least that. I personally think that weird, scary chair, that's her seeing herself on the throne.
Yeah.
I don't believe... I may be wrong about this. It's probably going to be Palpatine tempting her. But, personal pet theory, that's her seeing herself on the throne ruling the galaxy. Personal pet theory. And that throne is the seat of power of the original Sith, which is what Palpatine sensed out in the outer reaches that's caused him to start sending troops out there in the first place. And that's where there's enough dark side for him to bring himself back. Personal pet theories.
There you go. And then, of course, she's told about where the fleet is, and... No, just kidding. And the First Order versus First Order. No.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
But that's my theory. You have any more? We don't have much time.
Yeah, that was pretty much it for my theories. Other than some of the really outlandish stuff.
And of course, we'll know in a couple days who's right, who's wrong, and who had any idea of what was actually going on. Like JJ. JJ, do you have any idea what's going on? Please, JJ, tell me. Please, JJ, tell me you have some idea what's going on.
This goes back to people working on these projects. It's your job. Read the books. It literally is your job. Read the books.
Or at least have somebody on your staff who has read the books.
Yeah. If you don't want to do that part of the work and you want to outsource it, hire some nerd who's way down on the lore of that subject matter. It's just like the thing with the DC stuff. It was like, DC, come on. You even have an encyclopedia. Open it up and read the stupid thing.
Or
and some people did.
Or do what Jon Favreau did and call Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
There are people that have this knowledge base that are really good at making Star Wars. You call in Dave Filoni, you call in Pablo Hidalgo, and you say, is my Star Wars Star Wars?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they can easily go, yeah, or no, or, well, you just tweak a couple things.
I have high hopes. We will see. So that's, I guess, it for today. If you haven't already, please do take a moment to rate this podcast in whatever app you're listening to us on. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like to hear discussed on the show, please, down in the show notes, you'll find a link to the voice message system. If you click that, you'll have to sign in because we don't take anonymous voicemail. Can you guess why? But keep it short, keep it clean so I can use it on the show. I would love to hear from you. If you'd rather hit me up on social media, I am C. Dorset on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find links to everything that I do over at projectshadow.com. If you've got $1 that you can give, it really would help out a lot. I like having, heat and lights and stuff. I like nice things. Like the basics. Anyway, it really would help out a lot. In the show notes, you'll find a link to both the listener support and my Patreon. Anything that you could do would be great. And thank you to everybody who's already doing that. If you don't have any money right now, or you just don't feel like giving, don't feel pressured at all. I really seriously do this for the conversation because I'm somebody who just doesn't want to shut up. That's why I'm kind of writing another book right now, because I can't stop. Anywho, if you do know somebody that you think would like this podcast, do share it with them. That helps out immensely as well. I think that's it. And yeah, I started writing something new because, that is who I am. So until next time.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Charlie. And don't forget to have the fun. Bye.